everyone, I'm Miss Deb with Red Deer Public Library. Welcome to our Science Week of our Kids Summer Reading Program. This week I'm going to show you how to use the sun, so we're going to get outdoors to do our experiments. Now that it's summertime, we might as well do some things outside. So I'm going to show you a couple of easy experiments, hopefully using supplies that you already have at home. Our first one is going to be a solar oven, and we're going to need a pizza box, empty, some black paper, some saran wrap or plastic wrap, some aluminum foil or tin foil. We'll need glue and tape, and a ruler. And the last thing you're going to need is something sharp to cut with, so you will need your grown-ups' help with that because we don't want any injuries. So an X-Acto knife or scissors will work. And our second experiment, a light show in a box, you're going to need a cardboard box. The bigger the better. This size will work, but if you have bigger, even better. And then you will need some water bottles, and you will fill them with water or use the water inside, but we're also going to add food coloring to them to make them more colorful. So this one already has about 6 to 8 drops of food coloring in it. And you will need duct tape. We're going to need to cut a window in it, so again, you'll need your grown-ups' help with, and they'll use an X-Acto knife to cut that. And you're going to need a marker. So that's all your supplies, and we'll get started on experiment number 1. All right, so experiment number 1, the first step I did was I traced with a marker and my ruler a shape to make the flap on the top of the lid. And then using the X-Acto knife, I cut out all along those lines to make the flap. Then, because we want it to reflect the sun inside, I used the glue and a piece of aluminum foil and glued that in place over the flap, and I just folded it over the top. So that's our flap of our lid. The next part of the lid, with that opening, we're going to seal it using the cling wrap or the saran wrap, plastic wrap, and tape it so it's nice and sealed all around 4 sides. So that's the top of our solar oven. Inside the solar oven, you put a layer of aluminum foil again, and then our black paper, and those are going to help trap the heat inside. There we go. You can glue them in place, or you can just place them inside. They should be fine. And then the last thing we need for our solar oven is something to cook. So I'm going to make s'mores inside my solar oven. So I needed graham wafers and marshmallows and some chocolate. So I've just put them on a little piece of paper towel in case they get messy. And just a little tip, because the marshmallows are kind of fat, you might have to squish them a little bit so they don't hit the lid too much during the cooking process. So we've got it all set to go, and now we're going to take our ruler with us and head outside. So let's carefully close the lid. And the reason we need our ruler is that ruler is going to help anchor just like that. See how it will prop it up? So we're going to bring our tape outside and our ruler so that we can prop up our flap to get the angle of the sun to shine down on our solar oven. So let's head outside. Okay, so now we are outside and we've taped the ruler to our box. And we're just going to turn it a little bit so it can get as much sun as possible shining in and onto that flap and then into our oven. And then we're going to leave it for a little while. Could take half an hour, could take 2 hours, depends on how hot and sunny your day is. But you want to check it pretty regularly and see how it's doing. Just remember that the items inside your oven might get very hot, so be very careful. So the second experiment you can try, if you like, is the light show in a box. So what you need to do is you're going to seal up this box, and then you're going to cut a window so that you can see inside it. And that will be on the side. On the top, you'll trace your water bottle and cut out that hole. That's where your grown-up needs to use the X-Acto knife. And then the last spot is to cover the top with aluminum foil, and that's going to help reflect that light into your box. So this one was already cut up. It's all been sealed. You can see we've got our window. There's the hole in the top for the bottle, and then the aluminum foil on top to help reflect the light in. Then your water bottles, you can add food coloring to if you want more than one color. And then what you will do is you will squeeze gently your box or your bottle most of the way into the box. Then we'll bring it outside, and depending on how sunny your day is or where the sun is in the sky, we'll look on the sides of the box inside and see if you can see the light show. So we'll take this outside and check it out. So we've brought our light box outside onto the deck, and what we're going to see now is something called refraction. So when sunlight hits the water in the bottle, it bends in all directions. And the light is going from air to water, and water's more dense. So that's going to cause the light to slow down and change direction. Water is going to make that light spread out inside the box. So we're going to see if I can get my camera to see it inside the window. Can you see different patterns on the sides and on the bottom of the box? And as you change the box, move it around, you might see different patterns. So try it out at home, test it out with your other colors if you want, and hopefully you can get it to work on a nice sunny day. So we've brought our experiments back inside, and I have some yummy s'mores to eat for supper, and I hope you had fun with your science experiments. Don't forget to check out some awesome science books in this week's book lists, and try out some of the other activities we have on the activity sheet. And we look forward to seeing you again next week.